Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, we are going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that I honestly have been waiting to profile for you guys for some time, and that is my UA deck. Now, I did do a deck profile of this deck years ago, back when I think Roto was at 3 of at that time. I think we had, that was for Noble Knight, the Noble Knight box set that came out. But it's been a long time since I've done a deck profile of this deck. And we recently got some new support earlier this year, the end of last year, which made this deck really much more fun to play around with. Really helped out with a lot of different things. The one thing I've always liked about UAs is they're such a cheap deck to build. I mean, that's the nice thing about this deck. Now, you can run expensive cards if you want to make the deck more efficient, but for the most part, this is one of those type of cheap decks that you can put together from a commons box, something of that nature, and easily build and construct together. In total, including a few cards in this deck, I'd say this deck is probably less than 20 bucks, pretty much, except a couple cards that you may have lying around or have that you may be using for other decks that you can put into it to make it more efficient. But without further ado, let us get into the deck profile. So first off, we run our 3 UA Libra Spiker. This is the new level 4 that we got instead of UA Midfielder. If you guys remember UA Midfielder, we used to run this guy a lot. He was kind of the heart and soul of the deck back in the day for helping a normal summonable UA monster that you could bring out. We even used MX Saber Invoker to bring out Midfielder so you could do your basic UA combos. However, Konami has seen fit to fix a lot of that because I remember we used to have to run Monarch Stormforth. But they came out with the new UA Libra Spiker, which is your another level generic 4. Really good card overall. Staple, I feel like it's a little bit better than Midfielder because he also has better attack as well. He has 1,800, where Midfielder only had 1,200. So I feel like overall this is a staple 3 of in the deck right now. Great card to have. Next we have 3 UA Play Manager. This is kind of the new boss monster of UAs, so to speak. UA Play Manager is really nice because you can either negate a whole bunch of cards on the field or destroy things. Great card with a pretty decent body as well. It has 2,000 attack that can go up, but you're going to be tagging him in and out of the deck depending upon what deck you're facing against. I find that he is very generic and helping against a multitude of decks. While some of these cards, they're better against certain decks than they are with others, which is why you see me running them at lesser ratios. But he's just very generic, and that he's going to negate stuff and pop stuff, which is nice. I still feel like it's important to run two Midfielder. You don't need to really run 3 as much as you used to. That's a given, I feel like, overall. But I still feel that it's a good staple 2 of to run in the deck overall to help bounce your UA monsters back and forth. Next, we have 2 Perfect Ace. I really want the German version of this card. I've been wanting that for years. You may be asking yourself, why does he want, UA Perfect Ace? Well, that's because in German, it's called UA Perfect ASS. Yes, UA Perfect Ass. And I just want that card for some reason, because that's the translation. I want UA Ace in German. Just like I want Curry Bandito so bad. Don't ask why. Those are just some of my favorite foreign translations of cards. But UA Perfect Ace is really good in the fact that it's going to help negate against card effects. Yes, you have to discard things. Yes, that's a given. Sometimes that is a downside even, because you may be discarding something you want. But it can help stop key plays and key cards that your opponent may be doing. It's a great defensive card, I feel like, for the deck. Probably one of the better ones overall. So I feel like it's a staple 2 of in the deck. Next we have Mighty Slugger. Mighty Slugger is pretty nice. When this card initially came out, you have to remember that we had Burning Abyss running about. So we used to run this as at multiples for many years because of that reason. However, it's pretty generic nowadays what it does, and not every deck relies upon it, but a good majority do, is when this card destroys a card and negates its graveyard effect. So the graveyard effect doesn't kick off. That's why it was so good against BA, this card was initially. So saying that, I feel like he's a good one-of against certain matchups. Again, he's really good because he'll stop their graveyard effects from going off. But overall, I feel like he's pretty decent as a one of. Next we run UA Dreadnought Dunker. Dreadnought Dunker is kind of a piercer for the deck. In a way, I guess you could say. He can do damage by piercing. Really good card, but again, certain matchups he's going to be better than against other matchups. Staple one of, I feel like. Next we have Rival Bounder. Rival Bounder is really nice because what you can do with Rival Bounder, you can you can bring other things out from your hand, which is nice, and then you can get some plays going. He does take some setup to get going, and so that's for that reason I like him just as a one of. It's probably one of the more versatile one ofs that I run for in the deck. The other one we run is UA Back Blocker. Some people run back blocker and some people do not. That is up to you to decide. Me personally, I like it as a one of. Against certain matchups it'd be really good, so you can easily run over bigger monsters. He also has a high defense, which is nice. That has come in handy sometimes, but you can just switch attack and defense of some monsters. Against link-based strategies he's not as great, but against a lot of other strategies he's really good. So again, a good decent one of to run in the deck, I feel like. And that's all for the UAs. We do run some hand traps in the deck, which we run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Again, I want some hand trap negation against my opponent. I don't want them to get all their effects off. I don't want to stop them. I mean, yes, I have a lot of negation ability with this deck, you know, with UA Perfect Ace on the field. But I also want to stop you from searching things. So that's why you're going to see certain hand traps being run and things of that nature. So 3... Ash Blossom, you can run whatever you want to. I just feel like Ash Blossom is generic. Then we got our new field center, UA Hyper Stadium, which we run as a 3 of. And then 3 OG UA Stadium. My bad. 2 UA Stadium. My bad. 2 UA Stadium. I was like, I don't think I run 3. I don't know why I have yanking 3 out. So 2 of the OG UA Stadium is still good up in the deck, I feel like. And then we have the 3 UA Hyper Stadium that we run in the deck. Overall, some people do not like running the UA Stadium as much anymore. But I like the versatility of having the 3 in 1. That way you'll have your one of your field spells up and get going. There are some other things that you could do. I know some people like running set rotation. That is something you can try it out on the deck if you want to, because then they can go back and forth between the 2. Me, I personally didn't feel like that was necessary, but overall I do like the 3 and 2 of ratio in this deck. Been working out pretty well for me. Next we have pretty much your 3 UA Sign Deal, which is, I've always kind of equated this card as a, I actually have the supers, which is really cool, but is pretty much Hero Lives for the deck. That's kind of what this card is in a way. It's a Hero Lives. So 3 a Hero Lives, quote unquote, which is UA Signing Deal, which helps you bring things up from your deck to get your engine going, etc. Staple 3 of in the deck, hands down, probably one of the better cards of the deck to help get your engine going. So 3 UA Signing Deal. I'm happy they made this a super. I don't know why they chose Signing Deal, but it's so integral to a lot of your plays. I'm guessing that's the reason why. Next we have UA Power Jersey. We run 3 UA Power Jersey. This is a card that's very decisive in your deck because it's going to help you get around a lot of problematic things on the field. But the thing is, some people make this their core strategy of their deck, and some people do not. I know some people will run Isolde just because of this card. I know some people will run not Isolde decks. Some will run more draw engine based decks so you can get to this card quickly and do things. That's how this deck strategy works to some degree, quote unquote. But overall, it's a staple 3 of. I feel like it can do a lot of damage. You can do a lot of damage against your opponent, etc. So 3 UA Jersey, great card. I really like it. I think it's some awesome artwork too. Next up, we run 1 UA Tactics Turnover. Depending upon how you want to build your UA deck, you can run multiples of this card. Me, personally, I like it as a 1 of. It's a good card to have, but I don't like it more than a 1 of because it does take setup for that reason. So just a staple 1 of, in my opinion. You can easily get to it if you need to. Next, we run 3 Pot of Extravagance. Extravagance is going to be one of your main draw engines of this deck. You don't really use your extra deck at all because your levels are all different. You do run generic links, that's a given, but for the most part, you're not going to be using your extra deck, if at all. So using it as a draw engine is pretty good to me, in my opinion. So 3 Pot of Extravagance, I feel like is really good in this deck for helping you draw to your combo pieces and combos in the deck. So you can get all your UAs in hand and start going off. Next we run double Foolish Burial of Goods. This is kind of like Reinforcement Army for the deck, because you're going to be sending your UA penalty box. And the cool thing is when you have penalty box in the field, you can use, once per turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 UA spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is why you see me running some UA cards as one-ofs and not multiples, because they're easily searchable, like UA Tactics Turnover, great card, but it's easily searchable in the deck, and you can easily add other spells from your deck as well. So that's why this card is kind of like a rota for the deck, like I said. And it'll also allow you to deck thin as well, which is nice. Next, I run some one-ofs. We run 1 Reinforcement of the Army. We have a lot of Warriors that we can search out. 1 Terraforming. You could run, like I said, other cards, but I just like the 1 Terraforming. And the 1 Monster Reborn. If something is dead engraved, you can bring it back. You can use it for link summoning. There's a couple of different things you can do. And while this deck is not super combo oriented, it's pretty much cut and dry. It does have things in the graveyard that you can recycle. Next up, we run 3 UA penalty box. Like I was just talking about with UA penalty box, you can send it to grave through Foolish Burial of Goods. It's a good continuous trap as well. It's a decent one, I feel like. But it has multitude different usages in the UA deck. So that's why I like it. I keep wondering where the UA hockey players are at. We don't have any UA hockey players that I last checked. So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to ever come out. Onto your extra deck, we have the Akiza Field Center. Recently got this, so that's why I'm showing this off in the video. A friend of mine actually brought this for me for my birthday. That was a couple days ago. Thank you, I guess. Did not expect that. Next, we run 2 Nightmare Cerberus. 2 Nightmare Cerberus, 2 Nightmare Phoenix. We're running a couple doubles of this because of extravagance. That way you at least have some basic generic stuff that you can go for. Same thing with your UA Nightmare Unicorn as well. You see me just run generic, some of your generic packages as multiples because of extravagance. We also run 1 IP Masquerena. I had to run IP Masquerena in this deck, guys. It's UA for Pete's sake. It fits the theme. And it's actually really useful in this deck if you decide to go for it, though. 1 Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. Sometimes you will go for this, not a lot, but it's there. 1 Axis Code Talker. You can run other things in this deck, Borreload, Savage Dragon, etc. It's nice to have. It's up to you if you want to run it or not. Like I said, this is very run whatever you want to because you're not going to really go into the extra deck that much. This is here just in case. Next, I run 1 Tornado Dragon in the deck as well. Tornado Dragon, just a nice little card to have in the deck. Bagasucha, again, just a nice generic level 4. Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, other level 8s we run. Nungirsu Orchestra, the Evening Star. This is just a good generic 8 to have. 38 Hope Harbinger, and also lastly, we're running Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Again, you don't have to run all these cards, guys. They are strictly here, really, just in case of emergencies. In case of emergencies, you have these. Otherwise, they're drop engine fodder. So, expensive draw engine fodder, but they can be used for different plays depending upon what you're running for. So, that's why you see me running different ratios of these cards. Like AA Zeus, do you go into it a lot? No, but sometimes you do. So, it's there just in case. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile. Like I said, I know it's very quick, very straightforward. UAs are a very interesting strategy that's been around for a while now, I feel like, that people really have enjoyed playing around with. They're a cheap, fun deck to play. I've always loved sports, which is why I wanted to build it. This deck initially years ago. And it's one of those decks I've actually played off and on for fun with buddies of mine and at locals. And I know some good friends of mine who have run it for years. So again, I play with this deck online and in real life recently a lot. Enjoyed it. It's straightforward. It's very fun at what it does. It catches people off guard. It's not a meta deck, but it's a really fun deck to play because the strategy is very unique. It reminds me a little bit of Gladiator Beast, tagging in and out, but instead of from the deck, it's from the hand. So if you haven't played this strategy recently, pick it up and have some fun with it. And I hopefully this deck profile was helpful. Until next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, hope you all enjoy the deck profile, and I'll see you guys next time. And remember, guys, to get your game on. Take care, everybody, and good luck dueling to all of you.